Hey everybody, it's Bust, continuing our playthrough of Path of Champions. Today, we're going to be tackling Annie's 2-star quest, Annie Goes East. Let's take a peek at our Annie before we get started. So, our Annie currently at 2 stars. The first star power gives her +1 spell mana, and you get a fleeting Guile every turn. Second one is spells and skills deal 1 extra damage. In terms of champion level, she is up to 18, and for our relics, we use the Grand General's counter plan, which puts copies of Annie into our hand at the start of each turn, and then the Lost Chapter, which gives us spell mana upon summon. The kind of general strategy that we look to use with Annie is that our interactivity is solely focused on Annie. We're looking to kill all of our opponent's units with disintegrates, and so we want to draw Annie as quickly and as often as possible. So we'll chase after all of the champion item chests. We'll stack as many items onto Annie as we can, and then from that point, you just need to find a little bit of late game and your deck should be set. So, let's go ahead and jump on in. Annie Goes East, the 2 stars. I missed what the power was for this one. Let me swing back and check that out. Guess we'll see it when the first battle comes up. Alright. Up against Lulu. So let's see, what powers turn up? I typically like to just cheat on mana. None of that lets us do it here, so let's go ahead and give these a reroll, look for something a little bit better, and hold them off as one of the stronger powers. This is a nice way to just stall out the games, just taking down your opponent's biggest unit every turn. More than happy to add that to the list. Okay, so the Sparring Student, when a unit is summoned, give its weakest ally +1/+1 this round. Still need to see what the Lulu ability was. I forget what the global is, but it'll be up here in just a moment. Alright, what do we got? Round start, grant the foe's weakest unit +1 attack. So he's getting all the stat bonuses this game. Alright, but we take a look at our hand. Is there an Annie in it? Nope. So we're going to go ahead and take a full mulligan. There she is. Just the actual cornerstone of our deck here. Check out these moves, bro. Your blocks are terrible. Oh, he just gives it up? Interesting. I don't think that's the path to victory. That's not. That's how you climb the path of champions, my friend. All right. So got a couple of 2/3s. I think the prefect will be okay here. We're going to start guiling stuff so that these can. So this can grow, but nothing too scary happening right now. All right, then we'll get the 2 captive graybacks this turn. It has the summon ability attached to it, and I think we might be at lethal. We're getting pretty close if we're not. Okay, so we'll drop the Guile. Takes away a blocker, shrinks his board a little bit. He can probably follow up with another unit, but it does give us that point of stats onto the prefect. Dipper's time. See ya, bro. Right, next battle. What do we got? Do we want any of this stuff? Vaults of Hellia, just never want. Godwillow Seedling sounds pretty garbagey. The Blade's Edge could be something. Summon a follower when you cast it. Like, I guess that's fine. It's probably good enough. It's like right on the edge of willing to throw it away. The kind of upside to the Blade's Edge is if we've drawn our Annie, it gives us a way to take down units in combat without with the disintegrates without doing combat damage, and so it can be kind of nice to have. These spells here all look terrible. Not interested in any of this. Don't want the Callista cards. Scion is just a little bit too expensive for my tastes, and then we're not really playing a combat-focused deck for the Quinn. And so let's get these all out of here. Kaisa. I haven't seen Kaisa turn up yet as a champion package. Comes with Payday and Voidling. Kind of interesting. We'll stop and think on that one for a moment. I'm leaning towards just taking the Udyr. Because he does have a lot of late game powers attached to him, right? We need something to just come in and finish out these games. But Misfortune also plays nicely with Annie, as she is a skill-based champion. The problem with Misfortune is actually trying to get her to flip. But what's attached to the Island Navigator? This is the Rally, isn't it? That's a pretty powerful way to get a bunch of attacks in. I'm still just leaning towards Udyr, though. I want to get like one expensive card into our deck. That expensive card is going to be Udyr, and then we just don't worry about expensive stuff from this point forward. I think we should be fairly safe that way. What is this? Silent Shadow Seer? Don't remember what that is, but we have a champion item chest on the top path, so that's where we're going to go. Enemy power here. Stun the player's weakest unit. Each round start. Got it, my dude. Gonna be stunning our Annies. It's gonna make me sad. Alright, how do we do this, y'all? We look at this hand. There's no Annies. We get rid of everything. Easy peasy. None were found, but we did try our hardest. I tried my hardest. Just wasn't good enough. Alright, we're gonna be out here plundering right away for these Shaman's Calls. Get these in action quick. What is this? Round end reduced my cost by 1. Oh wow! I thought that he had. I thought he had gain a mana gem attached to him. That's pretty strong. So we can get Udyr on board next turn if we want. I think that's probably still a little preemptive. I'm just gonna try and drop a captive grayback this turn, but it's interesting. Big old boom of damage. You dropping emotes? Cupcake it. Setting a time for emotes. Get that out of here. This is a pretty bad time to not have anything, my dude. We can technically look to do stuff like Blade's Edge Face to get the Plunder for Shaman's Call. I don't think we're going to need that. This should probably just be done here. I guess he could have a bounce spell or something. I don't exactly know what's in the deck, but it should be irrecoverable damage, even if they have an interactive card. Alright. So let's pick up this champion chest with Annie. We want any of this stuff? I mean, these cards aren't very exciting. I'm leaning towards just the Scar Maiden Reaver. Again, just to make sure we have enough top end. Just won't take any more expensive cards after this. And a 4/8 Overwhelm Regenerate can do a reasonable amount of work. There was the Crackshot Corsair in there that has the skill-based abilities, but I don't think that was ultra necessary. Now, Philosopher's Stones on Annie are quite good. We can find ourselves in these spots with Annie, since we get the free fleeting copy every turn, to where we can push Annie into combat knowing she's going to die, but also knowing that we have an additional copy in our hand, and so we can throw her away. You can also pick up some free spell mana that way, and so the chains can be pretty strong with this card attached to it. What a picks. None of these blocks should ever be happening. This is okay. Go ahead and play the Guile to get the skill, but don't want to overbank if we don't have to. All right, the prefect's ready to do some work. feels like they're up to shenanigans. They should be doing a little bit more than just putting picks on the board. All right. That's how it's going to be. That's how it's going to be. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like he's trolling us at this point. How do we go about this? I mean, I want to spend a bunch of mana this turn. Think we can get pretty close to lethal. We can drop Udyr. He's going to make the stance swap free. We can drop a stance swap to overwhelm on something else. Well, I guess we'll probably just put that on himself. No reason to AoE on this board. Not going to kill it. Ooh, well, that will be a 2 damage AoE. We can take the 2 damage AoE and put it on Annie and kill 2 of his units and then stun afterwards. Okay. I think I've convinced myself. So we do 2 damage to everything else. Alright. Oh, hang on. We should have gone ahead and done this as well. Let's disintegrate the Swole Squirrel. That'll just take down his whole board. Now, if he's out of mana at this point, but if he was going to follow up with a unit, we would be able to guile the unit at that point. Messed it up a little bit here, but good to remember for the future. 18 coming in. GG, my dude. Solid effort. Got him. Drop that echo. GG. The gods have spoken. Alright. Something cool. I'm feeling this is going to be a good one. What do you got for us? Well, there's the Vulpine Wanderers. These are reasonable additions to our deck. Generates the spell, works with Udyr. And then coming down and just fighting something is kind of nice. You don't really want that one hanging out on the board, so fairly okay with that. On to the gold chest, take all the golds. I don't think we need to go to the shop right now. I really like getting these Mana Soul students out of our deck, and so Mana Soul student can go, and on our way to Zoe. Okay, so what's Zoe do? Create a random 3 or less cost celestial card in the foe's hand, give it fleeting and reduces cost to 1. Okay, that's on round start. It's different. I feel she's in the... not Galio, she's in someone else's quest path. I didn't remember that she was in Lulu's quest path. Right. Go ahead and drop the stun onto Zoe, so if she feels like blocking, she's going to get boomed. Danger Noodle? I forgot about this voice line. Oh, shit. Well, that was a strategy. Zoe definitely just took a strategy there. I guess she has another Zoe in hand, but that's that seems like ill-advised. I think we can safely just take the damage out of this Trickster. Like, who cares? We're just going to heal at the end of this. I don't feel like we're at any risk of dying. And so let's just play it greedy. Now, this was a spot to where maybe, well, not maybe, we probably most definitely should have just blocked the Mountain Goat with Annie, let her die, and then replay the other one. But I was wanting to flex on how over this was, and so I didn't bother. That's kind of annoying. Big boom's coming through, though. feel like they're doing a lot of stuff. I thought we were going to get to take a break in this combat, but man. All right. Played all kinds of cards. I don't feel like anything really happened. All right, get wrecked a little bit, dude. Move on to the next turn. Now we're in these spots to where we can drop both the Wanderer and the Udyr. Get some strikes, kill some stuff. It all sounds pretty strong. We can look again towards the Udyr stance to just deal damage to everything. We might get the opportunity to do it before they attack, but I'm not feeling super confident in it. Okay, he's brought it back to us, so ram stance it is. Say, LOL, there goes your board. Move along. We lethal in here? Can. Alright, neg 20 is probably close enough. It's a 5-point buffer in there. Even if he stops our Udyr, it should be enough for lethal. Could have gone for style points and pulled off these Shaman's Calls, but turns out it wasn't necessary.
The gods have spoken.
GG. Here we go. We've got more Annies. These aren't particularly good abilities, but I don't think any of this is worth re-rolling, so I'm just going to go ahead and add Spell Shield to her. Adding free attacks is kind of scary. If we actually need to get one of those chains to where we let our Annie die intentionally and play another one, if it free attacks and just dies and we don't have Annie for the next turn, it's not awesome, right? And so let's just go ahead and stack up the Spell Shield on her and take that little safety net. All right, the next power. Great one here in Slow But Steady. When you play a slow spell, copy it onto the same targets. It works with our Guile off of the hero power. I wanted to see if it works with anything else in our deck. And ooh, it's going to work with all of the Udyr cards. So I'm definitely on board with this thing. This is going to be sweet. The Slow But Steady. Welcome aboard. Udyr's pretty hype about this. And then our other options, we can go through the vicious enemy path to get to the power, but our other options would be Smooth Soloist, which is also collect a power. That's the much safer way to go. Or the Spells Chest, which looks to be epic. I'm leaning towards just making it towards the Smooth Soloist, though. So let's head on down to the Swole Squirrel battle. Swole Squirrels tend to have problems with disintegrates, right? If they're playing Horn of the Dragon, that's a little bit different since it has double strike, but Swole Squirrel just gets murdered by disintegrate. Aggressive flexing, nice quest text on there. I'm ready to get this going. I'm just going to open so that we can drop the Shaman's Calls and just play like 8 of them. That's the way to go. We've got the Spell Shielded Annie, which she's about to get sizable. All right, here we go. Let's double them up. Go ahead and give you Overwhelm. Hope you all got some time. We're going to be here a while watching all these. Let's give you Regenerate. And then the next 2 will both be +2/+2. So we'll give her a +8/+8 after this. Nice and strong. Get the flip while you're at it. The Swole Squirrel needs to learn the weightlifting tips from Annie. Girl about to be swole. I don't feel like I even have appropriate emotes. I need something to flex. Hi. That's why we pick Slow But Steady. If you're curious, Bust, why did you take slow but steady? You don't have very many slow spells in your deck. That was why we did it. We're a little bit short of actually killing the swole squirrel up here, so let's go ahead and just start with Guile. He may actually try to attack if we don't Guile, since he can still give it +3 attack with the Caretaker. But then we'll follow up with Disintegrate, and then we'll strike him with the Vulpine Wanderer. Okay, we lethal? Not quite. Like 13, if he blocks an 8. 13, 14, 17. Yeah, we're a little bit short. We gotta get more dudes on the board. Greyback's big. This is like 14, 12 damage or so coming in. Dropping that rush, very important. Pretty sizable Annie. GG. All right.
Did you like that, Tibbers? Wasn't it fun?
Okay. So on to the smooth soloist. What we got here? When you play a spell, grant me 1/1. Sure, just do it all, Vulpine Wanderer. That's more than anyone ever asked of you. What do we got here? Round start, give your weakest ally 3/3. That's fine with me. Works fantastically with Annie. On to the shop. First and foremost, the power. Attack, grow my power to match my health I don't like. I like the grow my health to match my power, but not the attack version. So we can skip over it. Omen Hawk is always kind of interesting, but its items are bad. I don't think we want any of these otherwise, so let's give this a reroll. The Harrowing, just don't need it. Games aren't going that far. Elixir of Iron is nice in that it starts in your hand, but what's this middle one? Create and hand 2 copies of a random 1-cost card in your deck. Sounds like it's just going to create a bunch of copies of Annie. I'm just going to take these exhausts. It replaces itself. It gives us a little bit of interactivity. We're going to run out of money here, so I'll buy the grit since we're here. Let's move on. What's our choices up beyond a shop or an item chest? We just spent all of our money, so let's go to the item chest route. So the Sheltering Glade, when either player summons a unit, give it barrier this round. All right. Checked our hand, no Annies. Get rid of that stuff. We got a kitty that wants to hang out. We'll wait. He usually likes to dig his claws into me for 3 or 4 passes before he jumps up here to hang out while we're making the videos. It's a little awkward here. I want to kill his unit with the Vulpine Wanderer, but I don't have a way to get through the barrier. I mean, this is probably just going to happen every turn, but we can wait and see. Moving into the next turn, we can do like Blade's Edge plus Wanderer if we want. So many stats. Best Vulpine Wanderer 2022. Okay. And we're also getting close to dropping Udyr. Oh my gosh, come on, dude. Come on. Come on. There we go. That's why people watch the videos. Well, I gotta sit here and talk to the cat. We can get him up here real quick. Say what up, world. Hey, internet. Like to do kitty things. Scratch my human and stuff. It's one of my all-time favorite activities. Alright, so opponent's getting a ton of value here. I don't think it's gonna matter. We're about to start popping off. I would like one additional like stance. We're gonna be able to drop the stance, drop an Udyr, give out one overwhelm. Doesn't feel like quite enough to make the game end this turn.
Enemies are returning.
Then, young fox, lead us to their home.
I don't know, this is gonna be a pretty massive Vulpine Wanderer though. Still have access to a Guile. I don't know, maybe. Maybe we're close. See lots of flashies happening on our board. You just give up. Rip. Nice. We won, kitty. We won. Get you these head scratches while the victory screen comes up. Alright, almost to Lulu. So here at the end, Shaman's Call, get an extra mana gem. I mean, sure. Why not? Onto the item chest. Don't really want any of these. We have this Blade's Edge summoning 2 followers. Okay. Why not? Into the healer. We'll just cut a card. Something expensive. I think we can still hang on to the Scar Maiden Reaver. I'm going to look to just take out the House Spider now. That's my kind of go-to after the Mana Soul Student. All right, and here at the end, transform the player at round start. Transform the strongest player's strongest follower into a 1/1 squirrel. Silence it for the round. All right, I checked it out. These aren't Annies. I could see an argument for hanging on to Udyr, since he does start to shrink in cost every turn, but I think Annie's just worth cycling for. Hey, he turned back up anyways. I appreciate that. About to get 2 extra dudes on board. Some of that fodder for silence. Not bad, not a bad value. Curious if we pass, will our opponent pass? Because I want to get the strike out of the Vulpine Wanderer. Is that too greedy? Let's see what happens. I'm curious. All right, get wrecked. Yeah, we could have done that a little cleaner. Let's see. She'll probably block. Right. Seems reasonable. You're just gonna get domed, Lulu. I'm feeling pretty good about this round.
Are you new too? I'm Annie. You're something special, aren't you, Annie?
All right, Annie's out of combat. You're welcome to hook down our Thrashing Snapper. He's not the cornerstone of our offense, if you will. Now we should be able to try and ace this with Udyr. All right, Udyr on board. Stance swap is now cheap. Let's guile this dum-dum out of here. Just come in and try and spend all of the mana this turn. We should have, well, I guess the stun here still works. Like, if we're going to play Vulpine Wanderer, it's going to strike his strongest unit, but it has barrier anyways. So the stun is probably still relevant there. Give Annie some overwhelms, and then we'll play the other stance swap onto Udyr. It's going to make him flip and just be gigantic. This is going to be KO time for old Lulu. Yeah, dude, bear stuff. Flex them.
Come on. Is that all you got?
GG. There it is. Coming in for neg 45.
You can do better than that. Why, hello there.
Looks like you're taking neg 32. All right. Managed to beat him. Nice little beatdown. Nice collection of cards. I'm usually pretty happy with Slow But Steady and Annie. But again, with this strategy that we take with Annie, you should be able to get all of the board control elements you need out of her flip. And so we try and generate those disintegrates using the power attached to her. Then after that, you just need to make sure you have a way to close out the games. And so we went with Udyr here, but whatever. Just the way that you'll fail at these is if you don't have enough top end to actually close out the games in the event something goes wrong and your opponent gets a little bit too much card advantage. But that is going to do it for us today. Hope everyone enjoyed the video. You learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.